Welcome back to the Weekly Download, where we break down the stories making waves in Belize with a little context, a little commentary, and of course, the vibes. This week, we're talking fish kills, airport fees, and child protection. Let the download commence. Belize River really said, I can't breed. And honestly, that's not exactly the kind of wildlife update we were hoping for. Dozens of fish have turned up dead in Flores Bank. And before somebody starts saying, that's not a big deal, no. Fish don't wake up one morning and decide to drink the Kool-Aid. No. Something is wrong. Luckily, the DOE says they're investigating with a whole squad of agencies, checking everything from water quality to potential source of pollution. Until then, no eating fish from the area, no drinking untreated river water, and yes, even your cow and your dog have to sit this one out. The good news is Belize Water Services Limited says your tap water is still safe. Maybe don't swim in the river for a bit. Belizeans, pack your bags. But before you even reach the airport, apparently your wallet got to go through security too. Because the government said, oh, you flying out? Hold on. We need a little something extra. That is, if you want to be safe. A new $10 aviation security fee is coming for passengers leaving through municipal airports. The money is supposed to help upgrade screening, improve security systems, and bring Belize's airports up to international standards. And look, after that Tropic Air hijacking incident last year, nobody can argue that aviation security isn't serious business. But you know Belizeans. The moment we hear new fee, everybody starts doing mental gymnastics. Like, so this $10 is going to buy me a body scanner or just another sticker on the wall? Honestly, it is in line with what most airports do to generate revenue and host robust security systems. But to have a higher standard requires a lot more collaboration and hidden fees, both federally and commercially. I'm all for it. If I see true improvement in the security system at the airport, if they just have more signs, then I might just have to hold my $10. That's almost 1 gallon of gas. Child protection is getting a major upgrade as the Blue Teddy Bear campaign expands its reach into Belizean schools. More than 80 teachers are being trained to recognize the signs of abuse and understand their reporting responsibilities to become stronger protectors for students. Because sometimes the person standing in front of the classroom isn't just teaching math or history. They might be the first to notice that a child needs help. The campaign is now moving into its next phase with future training planned for parents and students. Before the titles, the politics, and the public spotlight, who was young Johnny Briceño? In this edition of our portrait series, we go back to where it all began and the moment he first felt called to serve Belize.
Well, I love sports. I used to play football, I used to play basketball, volleyball, and in high school I was in the teams for both, in the 3 sports I was part of the school team, and I remember every weekend going to play football, if not in our interacting in a village or we're out over the place playing football, and there when you play a lot of sports you learn about teamwork and building a team and the importance of cooperation and how you could. So I think I learned a lot from that about sports because I used to be very, very active. I was not too studious. I just used to study enough to pass. I mean, it wasn't until when I went to university I realized that you really need to study, work hard, and spend long hours studying. And so I tell everybody, guys, don't do that mistake that I did in high school. Work hard. I used to have good grades, but could have done way better. But also, my father was the representative for Orange Walk Central, and my uncle was the mayor of Orange Walk Town. And so I think for some reason, I was the one they used to pull around for me to go and put up speakers and they had them big horns, you climb up there, they tie up and then they drive around with the people and they holler, that they go, they announce that there's a meeting or they give out flyers. So I kind of I grew up in that environment, especially with election time. I go and help. But at that time, I was not necessarily thinking that I will run, okay. But if there's one thing I learned from my dad, in this love for Belize, and my dad used to always say, son, you always have to help poor people. You have to help the people who need the most help, and that was instilled in me. And so I remember when we were growing up and we started with our own business, any help I could give, we help people, and without thinking about politics. So I think probably I was groomed into it without really thinking about it. And then afterwards, I remember 1984, many people don't know this, I was in college and my dad asked me to stay back and run his campaign, which I did. So the first campaign I ran, I lost. Because my father lost the election. There's not a story about that one, but don't get that's a story for another day. And after I left, I went back to college. I still had about a year and a half more to go. And then I saw how some people behaved after my father lost. And I said, why would I want to get into politics? You know what? To hell with everybody. I want to concentrate in my business and me and my brother, look after my family, not worry about anybody, nothing. But you come back and then you start to be successful in business and you feel that you need to give something back. You give a donation every month, but it's nothing like when you dedicate your time and give your efforts and your ideas and how you could make this country better. And I guess that's when it dawned on me. And then when I was asked, at that moment I was thinking, no, I need more time. I said maybe when I'm in my 40s, I was 32 years old when I was asked to run. And so I don't think there was this moment, but more that I think both my dad and my uncle were grooming me into something. And so I think that's pretty much what happened. And here I am on, at the end of June 30th, I think, is going to be 33 years since I was first elected.
Wow. It's a very long commitment.
It's a very long time. And the thing is, I promised Rosanna, my wife, the same thing. And I owe she a lot because when I did that, my second son, Johnny, was 2 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
And so when I broke the news to her, oh my God, she cried for weeks. She said, why are you doing this? And again, I made the same promise. And I have to give her credit because then whilst I'm busy, she was a teacher, but yet she still found time of taking care of her 3 boys. And Prasanna has always been that steady hand behind me, making sure that everything is running smoothly.
Politics may not have been part of the plan, but over time, a deeper call to serve would shape Prime Minister Johnny Briceño's journey. It is a reminder that leadership does not always begin with ambition. It can begin with a growing sense of responsibility to country and community. And that's your weekly download. From protecting our rivers and our children to celebrating the creativity that makes Belize shine, there's always a story worth talking about. Keep staying informed, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you next week. Download complete.